Hello and welcome to another edition of Paydirt Remote. I'm Dominic Piper. Today I'm joined by Andrew Cunningham, Technical Director at Walkabout Resources. Andrew, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Dom. Nice being here.
Andrew, Walkabout's most well known for its work on the Lindi Jumbo Graphite project in Tanzania and East Africa. But this week you've announced a set of results, the like of which we don't often see because they come from a project in Scotland. You announced these rock chip sampling results this week. Can you explain to us where they come from and how the project came in the possession of Walkabout?
Well, Dom, as you know, Walkabout has been, except for the Lindi Jumbo project, which has taken most of our time up to now and still is. We picked up some ground in Northern Ireland a couple of years ago, which we've been working on, and then this opportunity crossed our desk with a project in Scotland. An area that is been, one would think, has been explored to death, but it's exactly the opposite, is that very little exploration has been done in the past 100 years, with some work done by the British Geological Survey in the 1970s. But the area is well known for very high-grade base metal mines that were done in the Victorian times. So to us, it was a very exciting project that we could farm, that we are busy farming into, and we've been working low key there for the past year and a half, probably getting all the permissions and getting all their buy-ins into the project. So it's now time that we can progress this and also at a rapid pace.
Andrew, I can't imagine that working in Scotland is as easy as rolling up to targets in Tanzania or in Western Australia. Is it a softly approach that you have to take in a place like that?
Dom, absolutely. It's very different to what we are used to in Africa, and as you say, in Australia as well. As I said, there's very little been done in the past 100 years or since these mines stopped operating. The latest mining was taking place in this area that we're working is 1917. So the people aren't used to exploration, they aren't used to mining, but they are, because we've been very transparent in our approach. We've had various meetings with all the interested stakeholders, and we've had the buy-in from all of them. So they're quite supportive of us being in the area and what we want to achieve there.
The whole of the Western world is now sort of looking towards mining and critical minerals and so forth to ensure their supply chains are secure. Have you had any interest from the UK government or the Scottish government for that matter?
Dom, yes, I've had meetings in Scotland with the British Geological Survey. They're very excited about what's happening on their doorstep now. They've been supporting various African countries or countries all over the world, but to have this exploration happening on their doorstep is very exciting for them, and they're very encouraged by what we're doing there.
You've got these high-grade rock chip results now. What's the next step from here?
Obviously, we want to get to that next step, and the next step is drilling. That's what all exploration companies should be doing. We've done quite a bit of work to get to that stage. We've done looked at all the mapping, collated all the historical data that we could lay our hands on. We completed a ground magnetic survey with the sole purpose of identifying drill targets in an area that we see is very prospective for lead, zinc, copper, and silver. The ground magnetic survey was very successful. It delineated quite a few parallel structures to the original mining area or offshoots from that. And as soon as we can get back onto the ground in Scotland, which is hopefully next week, we can go ground truth these targets and then get all the necessary permits that we need to go from there to get drilling in the near future.
Do you know what kind of mineralization and what kind of deposits you're potentially looking at?
Well, it's very high-grade vein style mineralization, lead, zinc. Historically, these mines were opened up and mined for lead. As the lead petered out and it became more zinc-rich, they just stopped mining. The depth of mining was mostly down to about 45 meters, although there's one or two shafts in the area down to 150 meters. But as soon as they ran into water problems, they had to stop. They didn't have the technology that we have nowadays to help them with those problems. So we're obviously targeting underneath these old mines and also offshoots from that, and also the parallel systems. Very high grades reported in the historical reports of up to 70% lead. Our recent sampling, as you can see, 30% zinc and high lead and copper and silver. So that is what excited us about this project, is the high grade nature of it.
You've got a lot of UK-based investors on your share register as a result of your Tanzanian interests. Have they shown any interest so far in having a project so close to home?
Yes, Dom. There's whenever we go to the UK, there's quite a bit of interest from various people in want to know what the progress is in both Northern Ireland and Scotland.
Just on your Tanzanian assets, your Lindy Jumbo flagship project is obviously a stage now where it's almost shovel ready, but you're working on the funding package. Have you got an update on the funding for Lindy Jumbo?
Well, Dom, yes, the guys in Perth are working flat out. They haven't stopped working on it. It's still the priority of the company. This announcement is not something new. It's something that we've started more than 2 years ago. It's just we at least in a stage now that we can show some good progress on it and that we can get to the next stage. But Lindy is still the priority of the company, and we're working flat out towards securing that funding needed to get the project into production.
Andrew, best of luck with Scotland and, of course, with Lindy Jumbo and the graphite market there. Hopefully, we'll get to see some results from funding activities shortly, and then maybe even see some drilling on the ground in Scotland in the near future.
Yeah, Dom. Yeah, that's obviously what we're working towards, and yeah, it'll be good to update the market once we're in a position to do so.